Good afternoon, everyone. If you're interested in seeing our penguins get some lunch, head on over to the June Keys Penguin Habitat. I'm about to enter the exhibit, but it looks like our birds are pretty hungry, so while I'm feeding, I am going to be off the mic, but when I'm done, I'll get right back on and let you know what's going on. But we're giving our birds two types of fish, herring and capelin. Our birds are actually preparing for their yearly migration season. That lasts about 4 months, so they're going to be spending a lot more time in the water. So if during the feed something startles them, they all may run into the water. But it looks like I'm not going to have any trouble feeding some of our birds. So again, if you want to check that out, come on over to the June Keys Penguin Habitat. When I'm done feeding, I'll tell you a little bit more about our birds. If you're just joining us, welcome to the June Keys Penguin Habitat. I am currently feeding our 23 Magellanic penguins. That's Anderson taking a herring. These birds do swallow their food whole. If you were to take a look inside their mouth, they do have papillae, little prongs that allow them to swallow the fish whole. They kind of make a obstacle that makes it hard for the fish to get out. Now, of course, these guys are getting frozen fish that are thawed out, so they don't have to worry about that as much. So sometimes when the fish have a bent fin or the mouth's open, sometimes they spit the fish back out at me. So some people think they're picky, but these guys are pretty good at eating. They get offered food 2 to 3 times a day. For the past few weeks, it's only been 2 times because our birds really haven't been that hungry. They're finishing up a yearly molt. You might have gotten a chance to see me helping out Lily. Lily needed a little assistance to get her fish today. We do keep a very close eye on our birds. In fact, I'm logging every fish that they eat. And after her molt, she didn't really start eating again. So we're helping her out a little bit. I'm going to see if Roxy here wants a fish. Roxy is one of our 4 Brazilian rescue birds. She was actually brought to us with a condition called bumblefoot, and that's the reason why she's not in her natural habitat. You can see she has a little bit of a chronic limp. She is okay, but that foot does tend to bother her a little bit. She actually had a bone spur a few years ago, and we took her to a vet specialist to get that taken care of. We did a 3D rendering of her foot, saw that it was a bone spur, which is something that happens when they have bumblefoot. Bumblefoot is a bone infection, so think about kind of like arthritis and little ridges and bumps in your bone. Paddles is going to demonstrate how she eats her fish whole. That's a pretty big herring, but she got it down. All right. So Paddles has had 2 herring for today, although I almost count that as 2 herring itself. That was a big fish. We give our birds herring and capelin. Every now and then we give them trout, which is pretty cool because one of our birds is pretty picky. She only eats capelin. This is her here at the bucket now. Her name is Whatever, but she actually eats trout sometimes, so that's pretty cool. A little bit of a different diet for him. 3, but most of the birds actually prefer herring. 4, 5, 6, 7. So whatever molted about a month ago, so she is back to herself and as far as eating goes. She has had 20 capelin today, and that's probably all she's going to eat. Now, some of our birds have preferences in the way they like their food delivered to them. Good example of that is Robbie here, another one of our Brazilian rescue birds. He had that same issue called bumblefoot as well. And a lot of our birds, when we first got them here, had laser therapy to get rid of that necrotic or bad tissue. I have one more herring. Let's see if he wants it. Nope. So Robbie actually prefers to eat with his feet in the water like that. He did actually come all the way up to the bucket this morning, which was pretty surprising. He must have his appetite back. So Magellanic penguins are one of 18 species of penguin. They're what we call a temperate species. So they're not tropical, but they're not going to see ice or snow. In fact, only 3 species of penguin are ice or snow dependent. Several of them get a chance to see snow. Magellanics are not one of those penguins. They're native to South America, so Chile and Argentina. And 4 of our birds were rescued from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Pretty far, little too far north from where they're typically found. And they were deemed unreleasable, so they became a part of our SSP, or Species Survival Plan. So their genetics are very important in a protected environment. All of our animals here at the aquarium are very well taken care of. We are a part of AZA, Association of Zoos and Aquariums, and every 5 years we have to get reaccredited. So we have to prove that we're able to take care of the animals that we have here at the aquarium. One of the things for that is you have to make sure they have enough space. 1 second, Shim might need both of my hands. One of the things I notice working with Shim, if he doesn't see both of my hands, sometimes he gets a little bit nervous. Some of the birds are my buddies. They'll hang out with me if it's not a feeding time. He isn't one of those birds. He's more like, give me some food. You're allowed to be in this exhibit, but I don't really know about you too much. This is his mate, whatever, kind of the same thing. 13 out of the 23 birds did hatch here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. But I was talking about AZA. So to be accredited, you have to make sure your animals have good nutrition, enough space, and they also have enrichment. Enrichment is something that adds to their day, whether it's exercise, mental stimulation, or something that helps me take care of them. Of course, they have to eat throughout the day, but as they're eating, I get a chance to look at them. I get to see if their flippers are okay, if they have any scratches. I get to look at their feet, their eyes, and they don't really even know that I'm doing that. They think I'm just feeding them. Oh, here comes Shim again. Let's see if we can be successful this time. Looks like he'll wait till the next feed, but he's already had 4 herrings, so he's gotten a good amount of food. An average diet for these guys is about 10 to 15 of these smaller fish, capelin, about 4 to 5 of these herring. This is a pretty big herring. Most of them are a little bit smaller. If you're interested in seeing our birds get fed, I'll be out here again at 4 o'clock. Thank you for hanging out with us while we feed our penguins, and enjoy the rest of your day here at the aquarium.